91% of people will fail their New Year's resolution. Not because they're lazy, because they've been taught wrong. Here's what actually works. From the moment you wake up, you are under attack. You are bombarded by thousands of micro-choices every single day, and every single one drains the same battery. Your willpower isn't a personality trait, it's a limited resource, and you're bleeding it out before noon. That's why, in a famous study of parole rulings, judges granted parole 65% of the time in the morning, but almost 0% by late afternoon. Same cases, same judges, different energy levels. Your brain isn't broken, it's exhausted. Here's what changes everything. Your brain has two operating systems. System 1 is your autopilot. It's fast, it's instinctive. It runs the show without you asking. System 2 is your conscious mind. It thinks, it plans, it decides. The problem? System 2 is slow and lazy. It burns energy like a sports car burns gas. So your brain hands off 40% of your day to System 1. You are on autopilot almost half your life. The question is, did you program the autopilot, or did your past program it for you? Here's where it gets wild. When you were born, you had more neurons than you do now. Babies have 100 trillion synaptic connections. Adults have less than half that. Because your brain literally prunes itself. It cuts away the paths you don't use and strengthens the ones you do. Neuroscientist David Eagleman said, "You become who you are not because of what grows in your brain, but because of what is removed." You're not just building habits, you're physically sculpting your brain tissue. Let me tell you a story. In 2003, British cycling was the laughingstock of the sport. They had endured a century of mediocrity. In 110 years, no British cyclist had ever won the Tour de France. Not once. They were so bad that a top European bike manufacturer reportedly refused to sell them equipment, afraid it would hurt their brand image. That's rock bottom. Then they hired Dave Brailsford. He didn't demand harder training. He asked one question. What if we improved everything by just 1%? And then he went obsessive. He redesigned the bike seats, rubbed alcohol on the tires for better grip, tested fabrics in a wind tunnel. But then he went deeper. He painted the inside of the team truck white so they could spot tiny specks of dust that might degrade the bike gears. He hired a surgeon to teach riders the best way to wash their hands to avoid getting sick. They tested different pillows to find which gave the deepest sleep. Then brought their own mattresses to every hotel so riders slept in the exact same position every night. Each change? Tiny, almost embarrassing. But stacked together? 5 years later, 2008 Beijing, they dominated, winning 60% of the gold medals available. 2012 London, 9 Olympic records, 7 world records. Bradley Wiggins became the first British cyclist to win the Tour de France in history. Then Chris Froome won it 4 more times. From 2007 to 2017, 178 World Championships, 66 Olympic gold medals, 5 Tour de France wins. The greatest dynasty in cycling history. Not from one breakthrough, from hundreds of 1% improvements nobody thought mattered. Pillows, hand soap, white floors. That's how legends are built. What does this mean for you? Most people try to change with one big decision, one burst of motivation. When that fails, they think something's wrong with them. But Brailsford said, forget about perfection, focus on progression, and compound the improvements. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So how do you build a new system? Make it so small your brain doesn't notice. Your brain can't tell the difference between 1 push-up and 50 when it comes to building the neural pathway. The habit loop forms the same way. When you say 30 minutes and skip it, you trained your brain to quit. When you say 1 push-up and do it, you trained your brain to show up. Tiny isn't weak. Tiny is strategic. It's your pillow, your white floor, your 1%. How long does this take? Forget 21 days. That's a myth from a 1960s plastic surgery book. Real research shows it takes 66 days on average, and the data shows that missing 1 day didn't break the habit. Stop chasing perfection, chase consistency. Here's the move. Don't build from scratch. Attach it to something you already do. After I pour my coffee, 1 sentence in a journal. After I brush my teeth, 1 push-up. After I sit at my desk, 3 deep breaths. You're not relying on willpower. You're hijacking a trigger already wired into your brain. Remember, 1% worse every day equals basically nothing after a year. 1% better every day equals 37 times better. Same 365 days. Opposite lives. That's what Brailsford understood. So here's what you do. Pick 1 habit. Make it embarrassingly small. Stack it on something you already do. Do it today. Do it tomorrow. Miss a day? Don't spiral. Just resume. In 66 days, your brain will have rewired. By December, you won't be in the 91%. You'll be the person they can't figure out. The pillow matters. The 1% matters. Start now. Start tiny. Start stacking. That's how legends are built.